Sunshine is forgetting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Starting this episode with a gold star.
Gold star.
If you haven't read the End Time Memetics Division,
That's the time.
welcome to Books You Never Read.
Except for those we have.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Jason.
Today we are discussing all of, and especially chapters 37 through the end of Yesteryear by Kara Clare Burke. So if you have not read the whole book, you're going to want to stop, go back and read, and then join us again. We have this and the previous episode, which was chapters 1 through 36, playlisted for you in the playlist section of our channel, along with a bajillion other books that we've read by this point as a book club. So, if this wasn't the book for you, maybe we have read something that you'll like. We've read all kinds of things. So, that being said, we're on Instagram for the memes. We are on Fable for discussion between live sessions. It looks like Shelby and Peggy have scored our book 8.3 to 8.9 between them. So, wow, that's pretty high. Our next book is
The House in the Cerulean Sea.
So we'll post a syllabus for that today. Make sure you get your copy. And we're super pumped to have you here. Did you do the thing where we tell people that there's spoilers and whatnot? Because guess what? It's a book club. And so we're talking about the book, which I realize is kind of novel for a book club. There are book clubs that don't talk about the book. It's just crazy. So anyway, sorry. Last week we had a lot to say about Natalie. We finished the reading Sunday after book club.
Right.
We just went through it.
I was actually thinking about that this morning, just like how many, like we had all this commentary to make, like deep thoughts. Then just like chuck it all out, man. Like it doesn't matter.
So I do kind of love that, right? Like this book is not making a social commentary. This book is just...
I mean, like it is.
But
yeah.
It just went wild deep. And so when we picked this book, I just picked it because Shelby said she was reading it. And I was like, well, let's just make that the book club book. I didn't read anything about it. And so now I'm seeing like categories, suspense and thriller. Like I had no idea. I really thought this was going to be kind of like a Tom Lake, kind of like a Here One Moment, like a here's life as it is and how people cope with it.
Tom Lake, but it turns out she was schizophrenic the whole time.
Oh, God. Look.
It was a blast. And I think probably the way to read this book is to have no idea what you're getting into. Because we're really like, so you were like, oh, it's the Mama's Little Helpers that's like kicking this off,
I know, and
right?
for about 10 minutes into the reading, I was like, I was right. I was wrong.
And I wanted it to be supernatural. And all of it's just like, no, they've just continued to make bad choices. And it's all weird. And
there was no other satisfying ending. There was no redemption to be had here. There was no... I don't want to see Natalie come to some bad end. I don't want her to go to prison and be miserable. Like, I just want everyone to stop being terrible.
Yeah.
And then she just terrorized herself and forgot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so to be fair, Natalie probably is like unwell from the beginning, right? Like there's...
Yeah. She had no friendships. She had no ability to
Well, she
make
probably had like some underlying mental health issues that like we don't really get to explore. Like you don't just kind of have like the sort of amnesia that she is experiencing without like already having an issue. The book this is probably most similar to is Verity, but like I knew what was up with Verity. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah. So, your cousin Howard had said like, books like this with unreliable narrators are really interesting. And I was like, well, where is this going if she's the unreliable narrator? And I just saw it as like, she's delusional. Like this is not who she is. And she recognizes that. She's not some sweet, happy, loves her husband farmer gal.
Right.
At all.
Right.
This came from nowhere.
Yeah. Not from nowhere. I refuse to believe from
I
nowhere.
mean, like, but she made it up. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
It
Well, I mean,
just
so basically, what it boils down to is to appease the people online who are saying that she wasn't doing this for real. They decided to do this for real, but Caleb wasn't having none of that, and so like she was doing it for real.
But as like penance, right? It was some kind of, in her mind,
Sort of, yeah,
except you are wrecking your children
yeah,
in the process. Like, oh my gosh. I really enjoyed that our hint of what was happening from the beginning
yeah.
was her obsession of the contractor's comment, sarcastic comment
Like,
about, do you want the toilets inside
yeah,
or do you want an outhouse? And that is like what she held on to create the real Yesteryear,
yeah.
where she modernized everything. I
Mhm.
don't know. That's so unhinged.
Yeah. Well, now I kind of feel like an idiot because I kind of had this complaint last week about like she's always like, "Well, Caleb and the boys are out there playing around and they're not working," and I was like, "I'm sure they're working. They just do that. No, they play it. They play
And then
it."
when the one that turned 12 came back all like happy and stuff, because
He
he saw he
TV.
got to watch TV and eat real like food and but meanwhile the girl, she was like 14 or 15.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And fell in love with her brother. I'm just throwing that out there.
Like poor Mary.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the whole reveal that like, oh no, nothing has changed. These people are all just psychotic was fun. The reveal that old Caleb just is Caleb. I was like, oh, like that for whatever reason for me, that part was like the most unhinged part
You're like,
because
wow,
like,
he like slapped her in the face.
yeah,
He set up a bear trap for her to get caught
well, probably
in.
not for her to get caught in, but it was probably for other reasons. But like she's having this mental break and he's just like, I'll do that. Like he's like choosing it.
Yeah, why did he stay?
I don't, so the chat is kind of saying like maybe he went off the grid to avoid the Shannon situation. That's definitely possible.
That seems to be the situation.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know.
But
Part of it is probably pressure from his dad and the presidential campaign, all that, which I'm happy to see failed. That was great.
the lawsuit or the beef with Shannon was against Natalie, not against Caleb.
Sure. That's true.
Natalie strangled her.
Yeah.
Put that energy towards your husband.
Yeah. There's that fun part like right at the beginning of her showing up at old timey yesteryear where she finds like the microphone bud. And that's what it was, and like the whole time you're just like, oh, this is weird, right? But nah, she just found one, like chilling out, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, they're saying Caleb, didn't have anything else to do. And that's true. And like, I'm still beefing with the fact that she wouldn't let him be a school teacher,
Yeah.
like, you know, we spent a lot of time last week talking about like how terrible the pressures are of and people doing stuff to women, and then it turns out this book is about like how terrible this woman is, right? Like it's
Yeah.
Lord, it's crazy.
And like what's funny is I don't know. This was a funny book, right? Like
yeah, sure.
Just the way it kind of turned these concepts and these themes and these conversations that we have now just on their head, right? Like she had the trad wife group behind her, but like she wasn't a trad wife.
Yeah.
She's an Instagram wife. Like that's different.
Sure. It probably isn't, right? Most of the trad wives are Instagram influencers, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then everybody who's
When I
like
guess,
wants to be like that is just.
It's the new Avon, right? Like the trad wives
Yeah.
back in the day, like in the 50s, 60s, 70s, like started selling Avon. So they could still, be home with the kids, but they could have this little extra income brought in.
Yeah.
Now it's. And like she was squirreling away that money. It was for Caleb.
Yeah.
And Caleb's like, where's this money going? Like he's not as, he is dumb, but not as dumb.
Yeah. I think one of the most, I still think like the influencer thing is very interesting, and that's like what the book is about. But then like, I don't know how else this book could have ended because otherwise it would have just been depressing. And like this isn't depressing. This is just like, oh.
Yeah. Oh
um
yeah, I guess she did go to jail. I
I,
forgot
I
about
I
that
do
at the end.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
because she comes
for
back.
yeah,
Yeah.
child abuse and whatnot.
I enjoy the twist ending while still being able to like explore the ramifications of all that. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that there is a guy on Instagram that I follow or have followed that had what he calls AI induced psychosis. Have I told you about this? He lives out in like
No.
LA or something. And anyway, the point is like this guy already had some like mental health issues and probably like some low grade schizophrenia, but he was like way too online, was like too plugged into like influencer stuff and like conspiracy theories. I was getting fed all of that, and then started talking to like an early Chat GPT before we had all the guardrails, and it convinced him that he was supposed to save the world. And so he already had this like mix of psychosis with sort of like this unfiltered internet slop with this like yes man AI thing. Anyway, and so his Instagram now is all about like how how he's like in recovery, right? He had to like figure out that I'm not okay, and he has all these videos of him like running around like Target and stuff, like casting spells on people and stuff. And anyway, that's what this book reminds me of most. It's just sort of like, Peggy or someone was talking about like she has this break because of these, these two versions of herself, but what happens when the reality we inhabit online is so divorced from the reality that everybody else is, and like what does that do
Yeah.
to a mind? I'll have to find that account. I can share it to everybody.
Wow. So, speaking of like social media, like, do you follow any accounts like Yesteryear, like Natalie?
The dude version of this
Yeah.
is not farms.
What?
Like we don't do that. Like
Yeah.
maybe somebody does that, but like we follow bodybuilders
Mm-hmm.
and fitness people
Mm-hmm.
and there's all these like, this is not really for me, but there's like, tactical, like there's sort of this like man fantasy about like, oh, I'm gonna get guns and like be a, be the cowboy thing, right? And like know how to use them, and like people follow that, and like none of that's real, half the time. The people who know what they're doing don't put that on the internet.
Right.
And so, but yeah, I mean, like, absolutely, I follow things that I recognize, but especially for me, it's definitely like the strongman bodybuilder. Like, why? How does that guy look like that? Well, first off, PEDs. Second of all,
Right.
he doesn't.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
nobody posts videos on the internet of them at their best, or I mean, at their worst, except for us. I do. Right now.
Every like still shot that YouTube chooses for our lives, I'm like, why? Why?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't. Why does it look so like dark in here? That's so weird. Anyway, I do like following like all kinds of accounts, like all over the world, just to see different ways people live, different crafts people do, like things like that. I do really enjoy that, but I also recognize that like I'm just seeing snapshots from a day.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing the whole picture. So we're like social media and the internet and like how small that's made the world, I think has fooled us into thinking that we see the bigger picture in people, but we don't.
Yeah.
We're still only seeing, what we're given. And I feel like I know that. I'm sure a lot of times I do get kind of like pulled into like, well, what am I doing? And why don't I look like with like fitness stuff? Like, why don't I look like that? Well, it's because I don't take PEDs and I actually eat, like
exactly.
And I do other things than work out.
You love yourself.
Yeah, I don't work out for a living. Like I live for a living.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
I think for me, because I like outdoor stuff and I get like hiker things, but if you ever watch a video of somebody like they're like hiking away from the camera, somebody has set their camera up, or walked away, then walked back and picked it up and edited that so they can make that.
Yeah, the get ready with me routines where it like shows them waking up and getting out of
that's not how that works.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And like that's fine. I don't have like a beef with that. And as somebody who's on YouTube and like I do think about like how could I make a fun short, or like,
Yeah.
hey, what if we, like we're going to a bookstore on an island in Canada on vacation. Like, hey, we should film that. Like, this is just cool, right? There is that like temptation to do that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But like at the point that it takes you out of your life and that becomes the focus, and you're now hiking the same stretch twice, so you can get your camera back.
Like, I am not going to spend more time editing a thing than it took me to do the thing.
Right.
Do you see what I mean? Like, I don't find any value in that. Because I want to go on to the next thing. I don't want to sit here and keep rehashing this one 5-second thing that walkthrough of this bookstore for 5 hours.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah. Well, and so to be fair, also most people don't do that, right? They outsource it to like Indonesians or Chinese, somebody in China or whatever.
You're right. That's totally true. And again, also, like,
that's actually really, okay, hang on. So that's actually really interesting because like, so we know that there's influencers and we know that they have this like fake life, but their fake life is also fake, right? Like this idea, like, oh, look, that person is a successful influencer, and we know that he must be going and editing and doing all these things and blah, 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 blah. But look, he's successful, but he's not doing that either, right? He's not living and he's not doing his thing.
It's a business. And like, I think Instagram and stuff is the epitome of your hobby becomes your hustle. Like, we all just started on social media as a way to like kind of keep people updated on our life and be more connected with the rest of the world, find people with similar hobbies and things like that. But it turned into a hustle. It turned into, oh, Instagram will pay me if I get enough likes and follows and views and generate ad money and stuff, and it goes from there. Yeah. And that's pretty.
And there's like a sweet spot for it, right? Like if I could get paid to do this,
that'd be great.
That'd be awesome. But like, what would that mean?
And
right?
I'm
What does
not
that look
willing
like?
to spend 8 hours a day
on top of what I currently do to get to that point. Yeah.
Not at all. I just want to read a book and talk about it.
Yeah.
So
Peggy's saying, like, why are people so obsessed with making things look perfect? Part of it is just because, like, that's what you have to keep up with, Like, if somebody else's video is perfect, then people look at yours and they're like, ugh. Natalie even talks about that in the book when she looks back after her assistant starts editing videos. She looks at her videos that she thought were good. Oh, and she actually makes this comment that you can never take a step back in quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's something that we've thought about with this, as our as we've tried different techniques and done different things, And
even still, even though we have perfectly good equipment and stuff, like our videos compared to other people's videos look like garbage.
Yeah.
But again, like, I mean, I'm just here for like this conversation. It's too much. So, hold on. Well, I had a thing along that vein. The producer, producer Julia, was that her name? Producer Shannon.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, so I realized she was a child that got hired to do this job. But any real producer, especially with social media, would not be shocked that there's other people working on the farm, and would not be shocked that like the kids are halfway neglected and covered in poop half the time, and that dinner is late because she was trying to get the right shot for the record. I mean, like, that to me was unrealistic.
I think it is realistic because she's not like a real producer.
She's not.
She's like she's like some privileged kid straight out of school, or like not even school or something.
She left early to go do this amazing opportunity,
and that's great. That's an amazing opportunity. But like, she's also part of that culture, and so she doesn't see, the reality of what's going on. She's good at this job because she's a kid who grew up doing this. I think about some of my family members who make like posts and things, and they're so much better than mine, but they've been doing it their whole life.
That's true. Yeah. It's like born into them now. Of all the things to be mad at Natalie for, Peggy says, they're mad she might be a lesbian.
Yeah. That part kind of like came out of nowhere for me. Like, she assaulted her. I'm on board.
But the girl was like, my pants were down.
Yeah.
And so the news was like, She's gay.
Yeah.
Okay, again, you're veering onto Flanders panel hatred right here. Like, being gay doesn't make you attack people.
I was talking in class the other day.
Being an idiot makes you attack people.
I was talking about chess the other day in class because somebody was telling me they play chess, and I was like, yeah, well, like I read this book, and it was kind of about chess, and maybe I want to play chess. And they're like, what was it? I'm like, I'm not even recommending it to you, dog. I'm not doing that.
The book that should not be named. One of our mics is turning red.
It's mine.
Is it dying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It might be mine. I guess we don't know that, but
can y'all hear both of us?
You can tell from the bar up at the top.
Okay, great.
We just may not last very long. Going back to Peggy's point about like, fails are fun and like watching other people. We've talked recently about that dude who's like biking across China and just like goes into people's houses and eats with them and stuff. And like certainly he is choosing like what to show. Like there are days when it rains and it sucks and all that kind of stuff, right? But like I do sort of, I'm gonna call it like slice of life, right? Like I do enjoy just sort of seeing how people live. And I think that's part of what's fun about what we're doing here and like long form podcasts in general is like, the quality might be good or whatever comparatively, but it's just off the cuff, people talking, people hanging out, people being good to each other. And it's not like staged, and honestly, that guy might be staged for all I know. I have no idea. But
my recent Instagram obsession was watching Kelsey Findler row from California to Oahu. That was amazing.
And so again, right, like that's somebody doing something for real. She can't get all like glammed up. She on a boat.
Her face is blistered. Her hands are blistered. It does not look glorious. Yeah. But I tell you what, every time I hopped on my rowing machine, I was like, I'm Kelsey.
I do think I do think that people are like hungry for real stuff, I mean, like, and so because we do this, sometimes I'll watch videos about books and I'll watch videos about like, people doing different book things on YouTube or whatever. And like, you can see like when people have these like clean videos when they're just like telling you, I've read these like 20 books this month or whatever, like, but it's like a whole production thing. And half the time, like they read those books so they can make this video, and then I think about what we do and I'm like, I would just rather do this,
Well, it's like people who go on vacation just to get the pictures.
Yeah.
But like, are you actually like immersed in it? And like, yeah, you do need to take some pictures because later on you'll be like, I didn't take enough pictures. I don't know. Yeah. How do we make sure that we are doing things to experience and not just doing things to check a box?
Right.
Or just say that we did it. How do we make sure that we're actually like present and comprehending the world that we're living in?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, I do think, I said this last week, but I do think that this is like part of the problem with like the monetization of like our culture and like everything is like an ROI situation.
Yeah.
I had a conversation on Friday, totally unrelated to this book, right? I'm in prison talking to this guy in front of a whole class, right? And
he works in prison.
And so we're sitting there talking, and this dude is just like, when I get home, my wife wants me to spend quality time with her and the kids, but I don't have time for that. I got to be out there making money. I got to be doing things. And I was just like, my dude, listen to her. Like, if she's telling you don't have to hurry, that she wants you to like take some time with the family, like, why aren't you doing that? He's like, well, because I got to do this. I got to, and like, it just struck me like how like selfish it was to be thinking like I need to go out and make money, not because I need to take care of my kids and my family, but because I have anxiety about money. And the family isn't saying they want the money. The family's saying they want your time for a second, right? And I think that that sort of goes along with what's going on here.
Just pass it back and forth.
Oh, did mine die?
Yeah.
Okay. It's about like keeping up with people and the appearance and the anxiety that she has about the way she's perceived, or whatever. And like just how human that is, right? Like this is a dude who doesn't even have social media at all. And he's got the same sort of anxieties that Natalie has.
So speaking of money, can we talk about Doug? the dad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, she said something, and this might have been with last week's reading. I don't remember. But she said something about, and here's, usually the show is okay if you've got kids around, but this might not be okay if you have kids around. She talked about Doug knowing her in the biblical way, and I had to turn it off.
Yeah.
I was done. She is so out of her mind.
Yeah.
But all of her conversations with Doug, getting this farm, that's Doug. Setting Caleb up for a candidacy, whatever, Doug. She has to keep having kids. Turkey baster situation, Doug.
Yeah.
She strangles a woman, calls Doug.
Yeah.
Because he's a real man. He knows what to do here. Well, guess what? Doug has gone down the Caleb path, found every conspiracy theorist on the internet.
Yeah.
As his constituents.
Why don't you hold that a little further away from your face?
Is it loud? Is it so loud?
Oh my God, don't do
that. Doug.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he threatened to kill her.
Yeah. I thought that part was fun.
That was wild.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to keep flipping it.
I think it's funny.
They can hear it. It's driving me nuts. Yeah, I don't know. That part was gross too, right? But we kind of made this point last week of like politicians as sort of like the original influencers, and it's all fake and all that. And
not the Dougs that we like. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you said let's talk about Doug, first I thought about neighbor Doug. Then I was like, okay, no, like Doug, and then I was like, who's Doug? And then you said Dad, and I was like, okay.
But Doug Life.
Doug Life.
From
does that mean manipulate?
Tress of the Emerald Sea.
Yeah.
Those are the Dougs we like. Were you thinking of the Doug like my ringtone?
No.
Oh, okay.
Neighbor Doug, then Doug of the Emerald Sea.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's the book we need. We need the sequel, Doug of the Emerald Sea.
Okay, so I wanted to go back in the chat. Someone said that they really liked seeing the change of Natalie's mom and sister. That was nice.
Yeah.
They grew up and it came up in the same situation that Natalie did, but they remembered like that one essential human element of like kindness and connection.
The real hero in this book is somebody we never meet, and it's the pastor that dates her sister and like gets her mom.
Pastor Ben or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Like that guy's the real hero here, right? Because he embodies the things that all these people are trying to say that they embody, and and honestly, like talking about like what are the sorts of things you like follow on social media is people like that. You know what I mean? Like people who are just like being nice and
How the turntables though. The mom had cheated on the dad and they were divorced.
Yeah.
And she lied this whole time.
Right.
And so that's why Natalie thinks that things have to be XYZ way, because her mom set things up to be not perfect, but perfectly curated for her family.
Yes.
When in reality, and yes, we do shield our children from things. Like that's true. We do build these lies. We don't tell everybody everything about ourselves. I'm not saying that we're 100% honest all the time, but that's a pretty extreme lie to hold for your kids their whole lives.
Yeah.
And I think a bit of honesty and some hard discussions with the kids, would have been better.
Right.
I mean, hindsight's 2020, but like I feel like honesty is usually the best policy.
Sure. Well, I mean, like again, it's about these anxieties about the way people perceive, and like we mostly do things not like if there's not an external pressure, we do it for the internal pressure, and sometimes that internal pressure wins anyway. I like that one of the kids wrote a book here at the end about
Clementine.
Yeah.
Oh no, well, Mary.
It was Mary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that
Poor
was
Mary.
cool. Getting right about her experiences and stuff.
I mean, Mary truly. That was the worst part. That was terrible. Was mine dying too? Yeah. Oh no!
I forgot to charge my fruit vacation.
Well, is it time to go? Crap. I mean, she really. Her and that baby.
Yeah.
Not vaccinated, not cared for at all. I mean, like, that's a real problem.
Yeah.
At least the kids in the first generations, yesteryear,
Yeah.
like, we're modern.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, we have a couple of minutes left while the.
You think?
But what's going to happen when this one goes out? We're just going to be muted completely.
Yeah. Yeah, we know y'all can hear us, but the microphone probably has like 3 minutes left on the battery. So my bad.
The therapists for Mama and the sister.
Yeah.
That is the real hero, not Ben, the man pastor who stepped in.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's good people like in the peripheries. We just don't get to meet them. You know what I mean?
Or yeah, she didn't write the book. She had someone help her write it. That's so crazy. And she's in night school classes and wild. Hello. We're wrapping up our discussion on Yesteryear. Welcome to the book club.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts before the mic goes out?
Not really. I just want to say that the House in the Cerulean Sea book that we chose next was chosen because it is supposed to be whimsical. Peggy or Shelby told me that they read this already, so that's a positive recommendation. So I'm looking forward to doing that. The description doesn't sound like super whimsical, but
interesting.
Whatever. I'm looking forward to it.
So did you liked this book overall?
Fantastic. I'm recommending it to everybody.
It just stressed me out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no,
I mean, but for a book to have me feel that strongly about it,
yeah,
but that's a good book. Just because it made me mad, it made me think too hard about real life. It was not a separation of the stressful real life that we're in, but yeah.
I think that it had
Rena won. Yeah.
I think it had really great discussions points in the first half, and then it went off the rails in the second half. And that's a formula I can take on every book from now on.
Dude, somehow we stopped it at just the right spot. That was total random luck.
Yep.
So.
All right, we want to wrap this up?
Yeah, I feel like we could have talked about so much more. Speaking of being bad influencers, our mics aren't even charged. So here we are. Welcome to the book club.
There's a new Little House on the Prairie show on Netflix, and I keep looking at it and be like, no.
It's too soon. Too soon. We shan't be.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway is doing this and Verity, so I'm here for both of those. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know that word for a new person.
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
All right.
But we gotta go. We'll post a syllabus for House in the Cerulean Sea. Do you remember when that was everyone's favorite Crayola color, cerulean? I remember when that color came out. Anyway, that's how old I am.
Gotcha.
No, yeah, we don't. Is that an author we need to look into?
Might be a sports person.
Oh, we don't talk about sports. Bye.
Savage. All right. It's time for us to go. Time for us to go.
Happy reading. Bye-bye.
See, it looks like we're doing all this work, but really Peggy's doing this work, so maybe we are influencers.
Yeah, look, there's our friend.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
If I was really good at this, I'd have a way to